All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hi yogis, welcome. If you're practicing at home, please grab your 2 blocks, your mat, your chair, and your smile, and always come with love. And we'll go ahead and get started. We'll just make our way into our seats, sitting down, finding a comfortable seated position, and just center your sense of gravity here where perhaps you can elongate the spine, finding a balance where your shoulders and your hips feel balanced as you're seated and your feet are firmly planted on the ground, where you can start to feel the ground come up into your body. And if you feel safe and comfortable in closing your eyes down and allowing your vision to go more inward, and just taking a body scan, moving from your head down to the toes and back, and seeking for those places within you that have some sensation, and just observing how that sensation is showing up for you today. Setting an intention for your practice to honor your body at all times. If anything IQ doesn't work in your body, take the variation that does or skip it. Keep your body safe. And in a few moments, I'll guide us through some rounds of breathing where we'll use our arms. We'll inhale for a count of 5 and we'll exhale for a count of 5. So we can begin to activate that slower breath within us. And just taking one more breath here, feeling into your body and releasing, letting all things left unsaid float away. And as you come back into this present moment, inviting some light into your eyes, perhaps scooting a little forward onto your seat so that you can move freely with the back of your chair and your back. Letting your arms float down to the sides of your body. And as we'll inhale for a count of 5, lifting the arms up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 5, arms float down. 3, 2, 1. We'll inhale, lifting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And floating down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll take our arms forward for a count of 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as we exhale, 5 arms float down, hinging forward from your hips, making your way into a chair plane, reaching the arms back behind you. 2, 1. Inhale, lifting, rising, lifting the fingers to the sky, the stars. And exhaling, finding your chair plane nice and slow, 5 counts, maybe in your mind, making your way into that chair plane. And last one, inhale as you lift the arms up. And release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms floating back. Inhale as you come back up to center, lifting the arms up to finish out this entire circuit. And exhale, hands to heart center. Studies show that in the animal kingdom, the animals that breathe the slowest live the longest. And so activating this 5 breath helps you slow your breathing down from 14 to 16 breaths per minute to about 6. So perhaps living longer with our practice today, both on and off the mat. All right, inhale, sending your prayer mudra up towards the sky, perhaps lifting your gaze, getting a little eye, neck movement, taking it easy, being gentle, letting your arms float down to the sides of the body, perhaps reaching for the sides of the chair, gripping a hold, and then squeezing the shoulder blades, sending your heart space forward, tilting the tailbone, maybe even taking your gaze up towards the sky just a bit. Exhaling, releasing the grip on the chair, returning back to neutral, bringing your arms out in front of you, perhaps giving yourself a hug. Squeezing yourself in a little hug and taking the elbows down towards your chest, rounding your spine, curving very slowly, very gently, very mindfully. We'll take it a little different on our inhale this time, lifting up, releasing your hug, opening your arms into a cactus. Squeezing the shoulders, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. And then giving yourself another hug, perhaps the opposite arm on top. It doesn't matter if you don't remember. And then taking the elbows down and towards the lap, wrapping your spine, a gentle curve. Inhale as you lift up, releasing your hug and letting your arms float down towards the side. Little shake out, little shoulder roll, taking just a moment to feel what feels good in the body, organic movement here. And we'll make our way to some side bends. If you have your blocks, bringing them up near your chair on either side. We're going to use them as support. And then perhaps scooting a little more towards the edge of the seat so you have some more movement with your legs and your torso. Letting your arms float to the sides of the body. Nice length, tall spine. Inhale as you lift both arms up, perhaps that 5 count. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, right hand down, left arm up and over, taking a side stretch. Nice and slow. Releasing as you reach, perhaps grounding a little bit of that left butt cheek down into the seat, reaching over towards the right. Inhale, lifting both arms back up to the sky. And exhale, left hand down, right arm up and over as the right glute melts into the seat. Inhaling, lifting both arms back towards the sky. And we'll flow this one time each side, left arm down, reaching to the right. Inhale as you lift, both hands, exhale, and left arm down, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, lifting both arms back up towards the sky. We'll take this as a twist, so lengthening your spine. Exhale, rotating towards the right side, reaching for the back of the seat. Perhaps your left hand across the outside of that right thigh. And every inhale, an opportunity to lengthen your spine up. Every exhale, an opportunity to twist just a little bit deeper, leading with your heart, never your eyes or your neck. Inhale, slowly unwind both hands back to the sky. Then exhaling over to the left side, taking your twist, reaching for the back of the chair, the side of your leg. Lengthening the spine on your inhale, twisting just a bit more on your exhale. Inhale, unwind both arms, reach once again to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Working into our legs just a little bit. We are going to actually stand up. So go ahead and make your way standing up. Dance it out, wiggle it out. And then move your chair so that your seat is facing you. So the seat chair is facing you. I'm going to turn my chair so that you can see me. You're going to move your chair towards the top of your mat so that you have a lot of room where your mat is at to move. All right, standing kind of about 1.5 of your feet from the back of your chair, we're going to make our way into a tabletop. So inhaling slowly, lifting those fingers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, stick your booty out behind you, forward fold, taking your hands to the back of the chair. And just gripping onto the back of the chair, straightening the legs. And observe how that feels. If you need to make your hands into fists to support the wrist, you can find that adjustment for the back of the chair. We'll move from here into a down dog. So stepping your feet back, 1 foot at a time, letting your arms reach out in front of you as much as accessible. Keep that bend into the knees to stick your tailbone back as you work to allow your heart space to melt just a little bit lower towards the ground. Bend in the knees as much as you need to, so you're not popping the hamstrings, you're just feeling that stretch primarily along your spine, a little in the hamstrings, back of the legs. Inhale, slowly walking yourself back forward to that tabletop. And then grounding down through your left leg, we're going to lift the right leg back behind you, taking the right foot and lifting it straight back. And flexing your foot so you're sending your energy out your heel. Pinky toes turn towards the ground so your hips are square to the earth. And if you feel good, stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, maybe you take that opposite hand and just rest it there on the back of the chair, or even reach it straight out in front of you, making your way to a bird dog. Activate your core muscle, so pulling the transverse abdominis in, and then sending your energy, reaching your fingers, if they're lifted, towards the front, and your heel towards the back. And inhale. And exhale, let your hand come back down, let your foot come back down. And then we'll take this to the opposite side, so rooting down through the left, or the right leg this time. Extend that left foot back behind you, nice straight leg, as much as is accessible, as much as possible. And then when you feel ready and you'd like to challenge the balance, perhaps your right hand comes to the back of the chair. Maybe it reaches in front for a bird dog. Just finding what feels good as you send your energy in opposite directions, through the fingertips and out the heel. Inhale as you activate the core. Exhale, let the hand and the foot come back down. Ooh. And then take a moment stepping back into a down dog once again. Stretching out the tailbone towards the back, the fingers towards the front, keeping that bend in the knees. Deep breath in and out. And on your next inhale, slowly walking forward back to that tabletop. And we'll take one hand to one waist, the other hand, straight spine, slowly rise all the way back up. Letting yourself find a mountain, checking in with how you're feeling. Couple of slow breaths, that inhale for 5, the exhale for 5, activating your parasympathetic nervous system, increasing heart rate variability, living longer. All right, we're going to turn our chair around now. So taking the chair and just keeping it where it's at, but turning it so that the high side of the chair is facing you. And then you can keep yourself facing the back of your chair if you'd like, or you can turn to the side so that your right hand is at the back of the chair. Whatever feels the best for you. We're going to make our way into an imaginary chair. So however it feels good, take a look down at your feet and separate the feet about hip width distance apart. That's going to be 2 of your fists bumped together in between the feet. And that gives you that proper bone width alignment. So your hip bones, your knee, and your ankle are all stacked. And begin to activate this transverse abdominis. That's the muscle in between the belly and the pubic bone. That muscle is the cummerbund muscle that wraps around your body and strengthens your lower back, activates the pelvic floor. And we'll begin moving into our chair, lifting the arms up the sides for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then hands can reach out in front of you, palms down, drawing the shoulders back into their sockets. You can keep one hand on the chair if that helps you feel a little more stable. Inhale as you lengthen the spine. Exhale, sit down in an imaginary chair. And pull in your transverse abdominis so you neutralize the tailbone. So it takes this sway out of the back when you activate this muscle here. And then knitting your bottom of your rib cage down together so you have a neutral spine. Send your energy into heel. Can you sit down just a little lower for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise. Exhale, arms float down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a little shake. We're going to step back into a warrior series. So if you'd like to turn towards the back of your chair again, not if you'd like to, but yes, please do. And then we'll step about 1.5 of our feet away from the back of the chair. And then we're going to use this right foot to keep it where it's at, stepping the left foot back a little bit further than you think. And then bending your right knee, your front knee, and just take a look down. Is that knee stacked directly over the ankle? So you have that joint alignment. And then activate this core muscle. When you're ready, reaching one arm, your left arm back behind you. Maybe your right arm reaches in front of you if you feel stable. If not, keep your hand there on the chair. And imagine that you're pressing down into the ground with your feet and you're going to rip the mat apart beneath you with your legs. So you keep that stability in your legs, building isometric strength. Activate this core once again. We'll take an extended side angle from here. Inhale as you reach the fingertips forward or lean forward. When you can't go anymore, lift that left arm up. And a couple of options here. You can take a bind with that left arm, wrapping it behind your back. Or reach that left arm forward over the ear. Whatever feels best as you're peeling the left shoulder back. Using your oblique muscles. Inhale to release the bind. Left hand reaches back for the sky. And exhale, coming back out. Coming back up. From here, we'll take a reverse. If you have your hand on the back of the chair, you can keep it there, letting your left hand drop down towards the back of your leg, lifting your gaze towards the sky, breathing into that whole right side lung. If you'd like, you can lift that hand up and reach the hand back. Inhale, slowly moving back into warrior two. Straighten your front leg. We're going to take a triangle pose. Inhale as you send your left hip back, reaching the right hand forward. When you can't go any further, perhaps you reach for that chair. Left arm reaches up. Inhale, coming back up out of triangle, and we'll reverse triangle, challenging the balance here. Maybe you take the hand off of the chair, lifting your right hand up, high-fiving the wall behind you. Inhale, slowly coming back and stepping your back foot to meet the front, hands on the back of the chair. Check in with how you're feeling. Nice slow breath in and out. Your chair is going to stay where it's at. I'm just moving my chair so that you can see me at home. And then we'll take this to the other side. This time the left foot is going to stay in the front, and you'll step your right foot back into that warrior two. Wider than you think. Your legs are longer than you think they are. Back toes generally pointing towards the side, long side of the mat, and then bending your left knee so you find that joint stacking there on the left knee. And when you're ready, reaching your right arm back. Left arm can stay to the chair or reach it out towards over your left leg. And then pull in your core muscle. Can you sink down just a little bit more? Extended side angle. Inhale, reach forward. When you can't go any further, let that left hand meet the back of the chair. Right arm reaches up. Bicep by the ear, or take a bind with that arm behind your back. Healing your right shoulder back. Inhale, release your right arm back to the sky. Inhale, moving back to a warrior two. Here we can reverse our warrior, flipping the left palm up, or keep it to the chair if that feels safer. Inhale, coming back to warrior two, straightening this front knee. Triangle pose, sending the hip back as you reach or lean forward. When you can't go any further, tick-tock. Your arms, imagining that you're sandwiched in between two panes of glass, so your left shoulder is right over the right shoulder, activating your core muscle. You're doing great. Inhale, lifting slowly up, straight legs, and exhale, reverse triangle. Inhale, coming back to triangle, taking both hands to the back of the chair and stepping your back foot to meet the front. Wiggling it out, taking a moment to feel how you're feeling in your body. Couple slow breaths. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. And we'll find ourselves here just for a moment in mountain pose as we make our way to a Samastihiti. So taking a look here at your feet straight forward like the number 11. And I'm just turned sideways so that the camera can see me, but you can also stay where both hands are at the back of the chair, whatever feels right for you. And then begin to settle into your body, finding that alignment, shifting your body weight back and forth, side to side, till you feel equally balanced on both feet. And when you find that balance, move into a place of stillness. And perhaps engaging the arches on your feet by just gently pressing the big toe into the mat. Not so much that you're gripping, but just a little pressing so the arches on the feet lift. And then bring your awareness up the legs, engaging the kneecaps, the thighs. Hug your hips in, your glutes. Activate this core muscle, strong foundation beneath you. Inhale as you lift the shoulders up, squeeze them up by your ears. Exhale as you squeeze your shoulders back and down, opening your palms to the front of the room and engaging your whole body, grounding into the earth, lifting the spine, lifting the top of your head up towards your favorite star, finding this place where you are the living bridge between the time-bound and the timeless. And then tuning into that breath, if you'd like to allow your eyes to close, keeping the body engaged. You might notice that your body starts to shake or quiver or wiggle. And keeping your breathing, nice slow breaths where you're inhaling for the 5 count, exhaling for the 5 count as you keep that body engaged. Strong bridge you are creating between heaven and earth, timeless, time-bound. You are that bridge. You are the creator, the decider. Your mind is always in that superposition until you decide and begin to create. And then all the cells in your body rally to make your vision come to reality. Keep that body fired up for one more slow breath in. And as you exhale, begin to melt down from the top, slowly releasing the shoulders, the arms, the hands, fingers, belly, glutes, hips, knees, all the way down to the toes, softening the body and allowing that melting sensation and allowing your body to feel what you're feeling. Nice, slow, even breaths. We'll work on building some strength in our hips, and our legs, and our glutes today. So we'll work with the right leg first. So Matt, might want to turn so that your left hand is at the back of the chair. And that way you can ground down through the left leg and your right leg is free to move. So moving back into that Samastihiti left side. So rooting down through the left foot, the left leg, and stacking the hips on top of the knees, activating your core muscle, little to no weight into your right leg. And we'll begin to lift that right leg up as much as is accessible to you, flexing the foot on that right side. Even if its toes are still there to the mat and you just flex the foot for a moment. So you've got a little balance here. And if you feel good and you'd like to take it a little bit more, perhaps you lift the right thigh just a little bit more. Maybe you open that right leg out to the side and then tap that right foot down to meet the ground. Tapping the leg, straightening the leg, tapping the foot to meet. Then inhale as you lift once again the thigh and close and tap down. Inhale, lift and open, tap, lift, close, tap, lift, open, tap. And as you lift, try to flex that foot so you're building that memory with the shin and the calf. So as you're walking upstairs, your foot remembers to lift. And tapping down as you point the toe, lifting and flexing and closing. Nice and slow at your own pace. And we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bring it around to the front of the body before you step down. Whew, dance it out, shake it out. Maybe some of these wide-legged, bring the hand to the waist, Shaolin circles to help the hips and that leg release. And reversing your Shaolin circle. Whew, how's that side feeling? Coming to some stillness in your body, stepping the feet back together. We're going to activate this glute muscle. So working with the right leg still, we'll ground down through the left leg, and then taking your right leg and your toes back behind you. Try to keep that right leg sort of straight as you reach it back behind you. Toes there connect to the ground. And then bring your body back up so that your shoulders can be more stacked above your hips. So nice, tall, try to keep that tall spine. And if you have your balance here, keeping the hand onto the back of the chair. And if this feels good, you can stay here, or you can just lift that right foot off of the ground just a little bit, even if it's just a millimeter off of the ground. So you're activating the core muscle, the glute underneath the glute. If you'd like to go a little bit more, take a breath in and exhale as you lift that foot a little further off the ground, and inhale as you tap it down. Lift and tap. It doesn't have to be very high. It can even just be 1 millimeter that you're lifting it, isolating the glute muscle. So we're not leaning forward as we lift. We're just lifting that glute, lifting that foot as high as feels good to you, to the degree that feels safe and comfortable, while also challenging yourself just a bit. Tapping and lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that right foot come back to the mat to meet your left foot, and then dance it out, wiggle it out. Take any movement that feels good to release the hip. Moving it. Whew. Then we'll take it to the other side. How are you feeling on that side? A little hot? A lot hot, yeah. I hear that. All right, taking your time. Again, if there's anything I cue that doesn't work in your body, skip it. Don't do it. We'll take this same exercising to the opposite side. So right leg roots down into the ground, little to no weight in the left foot, and then slowly bring that left foot out and lifting the thigh as high as feels comfortable for you, flexing the foot. Activating your core muscle, challenging your balance a little, just feeling maybe one finger to the back of the chair, maybe the whole hand. And when you're ready, opening that left leg out, tapping the foot, the leg, straightening it as you tap the foot down to the mat and lifting, flexing the foot, closing the knee and tapping down to the ground once again. Flex and lift, open and tap down. Flex and lift, close and tap down. And just keep moving like this at your own pace. Your leg can lift as high as feels comfortable for you, even if it's just a little bit. Working into the hip here, the hip flexor, the glute muscle. So it doesn't have to be very high in order to get that exercise, that movement in. Little brain body coordination with the flexing of the foot as you lift and pointing of the foot as you tap. And keep going at your own pace for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap down with that leg in front of you. Then step down. Let your feet connect with the earth. Feet go wide as you bring the hands to the waist and a few of the Shaolin circles. Releasing the hip muscle. And then reversing direction. Coming back to some stillness in the body. And then bringing the feet back again, hip width distance apart. And we'll just isolate the left side glute. So taking that left leg, straight leg, toes meet the ground, the mat back behind you. And then align your body so that your shoulders are over your hips. You're not leaning forward, trying to keep that straight spine, not straight up, but a lengthened spine. When you're ready, pointing the toes on the left foot. And then begin to lift that left foot up off of the ground as much as you can, as much as feels good. So you're activating the glute. And then inhale as you lower the toes back down, lower the leg. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Lift and tap. So continuing your movement to lift and lower your leg. Try to keep it as straight as you can. Doesn't have to be completely straight, but I'm wanting you to activate this glute muscle, not just the knee. So activating the glute, lifting and lowering for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting the feet connect with the mat. And then taking some bends, some exercise, some movement that feels good in your body to release the glute work that you just did. Maybe even tapping them down, shaking them out, dancing it out. Whatever feels good. All right, we've got one more balancing posture to make our way before we sit back down. So we'll make our way to a tree. And you can face the back of your chair so you can take your tree on either side or the side, whatever feels the best for you. And we'll take our tree to the right side first. So we'll glue down into the left foot. And if you're facing the side of your chair, I'm moving my chair so you can see me, we'll glue down through the left side. And then letting your right knee open, spin open to the right side of your body. Let your right heel connect there with your left ankle. And then your toes can connect there onto the mat. And bringing one hand to heart center. And if you feel good and stable here, maybe you bring your left hand to heart center as well. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, perhaps you just lift those right toes off of the ground, keeping the heel and ankle connected. The ground is right there with your toes, just lifting and challenging. And just come back to that breath, focusing on something that's not moving in front of you. Those slow inhales for 5 and exhales for 5. Just feeling into the sensation of even falling in and out of this tree as your standing foot articulates to keep your balance, your muscles in your leg, your glutes, your core, all working together to keep you balanced. And as you find your challenge, if you'd like a little bit more, perhaps you grow your branches, lifting one or both hands up towards the sky. One hand can even rest onto the back of the chair. That feels better and safer. Challenging your degree. And inhaling as your hands come back to heart center and spinning the right knee closed before you step down. Wiggling it out, dancing it out. Bending the knees, the legs, letting it go out of the hips. And then we'll turn to the right side if you were looking at the side, so that the right hand is at the back of the chair. We're going to work with our rooted right foot down into the ground. And when you're ready, opening that left knee, letting the heel connect there with the right ankle and the toes connect with the ground, one hand to heart center. And if you're ready to challenge your balance, maybe your other hand comes to heart center, or it can stay there to the chair. Perhaps you lift the toes off of the ground. The ground is right there. And when you're ready, growing one or both hands up towards the sky, growing your branches, you can reach for the back of that chair to keep your stability as you challenge your balance to the degree that feels safe and comfortable for you. Inhaling, bringing your hands back to heart center. The left knee closes to the front of the body before you step down. And then dance it out, wiggle it out. A little bit of movement to let that go. Whew. Good wiggles. And now we'll make our way back to our chair. So if your chair there should be at the front of your mat, just bring it back so that it's back towards the back of your mat. And then challenge your balance even more with a tightrope walk, walking one foot in front of the other. You can keep your fingers on the chair if that feels safer. Just walking to the front top of your mat and then backing up so that you can sit all the way back into your seat and making your way there. At last, we're seated. We're going to work our core a little bit more before we start to slow down. So just a little bit more peak on the heat of the inside of our body before we make our way towards a cool down in Shavasana. So sitting towards the edge of your seat here so that you have some movement, movement with your hamstrings and your legs. And then you can hold on to the edge of the seat if you like. We're going to lift up this right leg and kick that right foot straight out. And then bend that knee and set the right foot down. Now we'll do the left side, lifting the left side, kicking it straight out, flexing the foot, flexing the toes, and lowering it down. And you may notice that you're leaning back a little, so not too much. We don't want to lean back where you're not getting exercise. You're activating your abdominal muscles as you're lifting and kicking. Hip flexors also working. And keep lifting and kicking at your own pace. And keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. And keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, kick and land. Whew, sitting nice and tall in the spine, feeling where you feel that throughout your body. One slow breath in for a count of 5. And exhale for a count of 5. Now we'll heel toe our feet wide, so we have a nice wide stance with the legs, and bringing the feet underneath the knees so you have that stacking of the joints on both sides. We're going to be working with our core muscle here. So taking your left hand, and we'll reach that left hand all the way across to the right side, like you're going to grab something, picking an apple or something off the table, and bringing that back and putting it into your basket. And taking your right hand across all the way, picking something and bringing it back and putting it in an imaginary basket. Now we'll take the opposite side. So some functional movement here. And reaching across. Nice and slow, even breaths. And we'll keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finishing loading up your bushels. And we'll keep those feet wide. We'll take our fingertips and place them towards the inside of the leg. So the elbows are going to be out. Nice tall spine to begin with. We're going to drop the right shoulder down in towards in between the thighs. Inhaling and exhaling as you drop that right shoulder down. Take a look over your left shoulder. Inhaling, coming back to center. And exhale, left shoulder in, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. And then once again, keep moving to your right shoulder drops in. And back to center. And left shoulder. And back to center. And take just a moment observing how you're feeling. And then wherever your blocks are at, bring them right in between your feet. And keeping the feet wide if you need to restack or reset the feet. And letting your hands come to the sides of your body. Inhale as you scoop the fingers up towards the sky. We'll take a little cactus back bend here. Seated sun A, cactus back bend, tilting the hips, lifting your gaze, shining your heart forward for the world to see. Inhale as you lift the fingers up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Let your hands connect there with the blocks. And you can adjust these blocks on any height setting. So keeping that spine nice and straight as you are lowering down, perhaps bending the elbows so that your heart can go down a little bit lower towards the ground in between the knees. Just getting a nice long stretch to the lower back, the lumbar spine. And just take notice how your jaw is feeling. Can you soften the jaw? Can you soften the tongue? And as you're breathing in this forward fold, it might be a challenge to fill the belly with the breath. So imagine that you're breathing along the spine and or even the sides of the rib cage, breathing out, sending your breath in a different direction. And one more slow breath in and out. On your next inhale, bringing one hand to one thigh, your other hand to the other thigh, straight spine coming up all the way out of this posture. Taking just a moment, feeling any sparklies or anything you might be feeling, to let it pass as you just tune into your breath. And getting ready to move a little bit more, heel toeing the feet back closer together, setting your blocks off to the side. And we'll take one of my favorite postures, a figure four. So a couple options with your figure four: right ankle across to the left thigh. Or if that doesn't work, you can also use a block and set your foot up on that block so you're opening the hip. And if that doesn't work, even still, you can straighten your left leg and place that figure four right there onto the shin or across the ankle. So finding the variation that works for you. And then just start to bring that awareness to your right hip, letting that right hip soften down, letting the shoulders soften a little bit, letting the elbows soften. And if you'd like to go a little bit further, inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling, hinging forward just a little, until you feel the right side tighten up, and pause there as it tightens up, and then bring your awareness back into that leg. Can you soften anywhere else along the right side leg or the hip? And we'll hold this posture for about 45 more seconds as we start to release and loosen up the muscles beneath the muscles. As we hold these postures for about 90 seconds, we start to activate the fibroblasts in the body, which draw in more collagen, draw in more elastin, and we start to release. Our body releases a chemical called hyaluronic acid, which contributes to our mobility and draws in more hydration to the body. And coming back to that breath, slow breaths in and out. On your next inhale, slowly walking yourself back up and just taking that right ankle across from the left side. And we'll take and work ourselves with this right side for just a moment. We can straighten that leg long and let this left leg stay bent, and then inhaling to lengthen the spine, hinging forward if that feels good. Forearm can rest on that left thigh. Maybe you reach for the toes, the ankle, the hamstring, or the calf, whatever you can grab. And inhaling as you come back up, using your thigh for support, bending that right knee again, and then bringing that right leg in towards the body, a little wind removing pose. You can grab a hold of the hamstring or the shin or both, take a few ankle circles. And then finding just a little bit of movement here, so taking your shin and hip circles, making little circles with that hip. Maybe reversing direction. And on your next inhale, finding some stillness within the body, we'll make our figure four way to the left side. So taking that left ankle across the thigh or the ankle or whatever variation feels the best in your body. And lengthening the spine on the inhale, exhaling, hinging forward. Bringing awareness to the left side, seeing if you can invite some softness along the whole left side. And releasing the shoulders down, the elbows. And just tuning into your breath. Nice slow 5 count in and out. Try to teach your body to breathe a little slower. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when we move slower in our lives, if we move about the world more slowly, we activate within our experience the presence of paradise on earth. Allowing yourself to move more slowly, more purposefully. Start to bring in more of that heaven on earth experience in your own life. And on your next inhale, slowly coming up out of this posture, releasing that left leg, letting it grow long. And then lengthening the spine, exhaling, hinging forward. Forearm can rest on that right leg. And maybe you reach for the toes, the ankle, the calf, the shin. Maybe even a block if it's there, convenient for you. Just feeling that stretch, nice long stretch along the back side of the leg, back of your spine, lower back. And your next inhale, making your way back up out of this posture, and we'll take a wind removing pose on this left side. So reaching for the hamstring or the shin and hugging that left leg in, a few ankle circles. And finding stillness in the movement, reaching for the shin or the hamstring, and just take some hip circles, moving your hip, your knee in one direction. Nice and mindful, slow movement. And then we'll reverse direction. And coming back to a place of stillness on your next inhale. And making your way to your favorite Shavasana shape, whatever that may be. Sometimes it feels good to have a block behind your back as you scoot back. Perhaps you make your way to the ground, whatever feels right for you. Allow your Shavasana to be your Shavasana. You can even put your feet up on the chair. Whatever feels good. As you make your way there, and getting all the wiggles, the movements, all of the tickles and jitters out, finding just a little bit more comfort in the body, maybe 5 to 10% more comfort. And as you make your way into that shape, allowing the peace to start to come in with your surrender. And taking a nice, intentional, slow breath in through the nose and mouth, releasing everything left unsaid, letting your eyes float closed, Shavasana. Slowly returning to the awareness of your breath. Inviting tiny micro movements to the fingers, the toes. Maybe turning your head side to side, a good morning or evening stretch. As you make your way back into your body. When you're ready, if you're laying down, turning to your favorite side. If you're seated, just letting your stillness become present. And taking a moment to find gratitude and appreciation for yourself. Feeling that into the very center of your heart as you return to this paradise on earth that always is present from your heart space. And if you feel called and it's in your practice and you'd like to join me, I invite you to let your hands float down once again to the sides of your body, and inhaling as you scoop up all of this awareness, this balance, this strength, this gratitude, this life, this beautiful, beautiful life, and bringing that down into your heart center, sealing it in for all your days. I'm going to close with a little quote from the book The Way Forward by Young Pueblo. Focusing on a few fundamentals can create a massive change in your life. Make your healing, personal transformation, and well-being top priorities. Refrain from harming yourself or others. Create mental space for gratitude. And be kind and generous towards others. If you are dedicated to cultivating inner peace, it is essential to understand that the kindness you give to yourself and to others will fundamentally support your inner clarity and calm. And if it's in your practice, I invite you to draw your thumbs to your forehead, your third eye, and we'll bow towards the kindness within ourselves that ripples outward. Namaste.